Okay, we are going to move into now working on equations, and in order to do that we need to start with the parts of the equation. There are four main parts to an equation. We have a constant, a term, a variable, and a coefficient. A constant is basically just a number, so it's a number that doesn't change. It doesn't have a variable attached. It would just be a constant. So if you're looking at like a constant, you would see something like maybe 10. You would see 10, maybe like a -7 would be one, and then like 3/4. Those are all constants because they don't change. 10 is 10, -7 is -7, and 3/4 is 3/4. Right? A term is actually a combination, or it could be a combination. It's either a variable, okay, which is like a letter basically, a constant, or it could be a combination of them. So putting them together by multiplying typically. Okay, so examples of those, you'd have like 3x is a term. X would be a term. -x. Some more from your notes. You got 7. Okay, even though it's a constant, it's still a term. 4 times the quantity x minus 5 is a term. Okay, because all this together is a product. It's got a variable and a constant, and there's multiplication being involved, so that's part of it as well. Okay, you could also have terms with exponents in it and so forth. Okay, a variable is exactly that. Variable means something that varies. Okay, so if you have something like just x, okay, that is a variable. So we don't know what that number is, so we put x in its place. So anytime you're like asked in a word problem, find the value of this, okay, and they don't tell you what it is, that's a variable. You're looking for that thing. It's going to change, or you need to figure out what it is. And finally, you have a coefficient. Okay, a coefficient, like in the ones above, say we had like 3x. Okay, the coefficient there is the 3. It's the number before the variable typically. Okay, now in this case though, so say you had something like we have up above, 4 times the quantity x minus 5. Okay, here the coefficient is also 4. Okay, so the 4 is the coefficient there because the rest of it we need to figure out, and that's part of the variable. Okay, so those are the different parts of the equation. Obviously equal is a part of an equation as well, but hopefully you know that by now. Let's flip over and we're going to kind of break down some of these and see if we can figure out what's what. Alright, so let's take a look at this problem here and break it down into its terms and constants. If you look at its terms in this one, you have 2x, 3y, 4xy, and then you have 6. Okay, and if you look at the constants, the constant one here is your 6. Okay, so let's go ahead and write those down here. So our terms are 2x, 3y, and 4xy, and 6. In our constant, the only one there is 6 because it does not have a variable. Alright, let's take a look at the next one in your notes. I'll switch a page here. Alright, so at the bottom of page 2 in your notes, you have the problem 3x plus 7 equals 12 minus 4x. Let's take a look at the terms and the constants. And let's see what you got. So for terms, we have a 3x as one term. We have a 7 as one term. We have a 12 as one term. And finally we have a -4x as another term. And our constants in here, the only two we have a 7 and we have a 12. So those are your constants. Alright, let's take a look in your notes. As you keep going along, I believe you have one more. Try these in there that you can give a shot.